Hello, everyone. I thought I should share with you this beautiful novel that I've just finished reading. It is called 74, and it is a science fiction novel which is written by Faraz Talat. Now, a little bit about Faraz. Uh, he is a medical doctor, and he's also a founder member of cultural space called Cafe Soul in Islamabad, Pakistan. He has written for online forums on different subjects such as culture, arts, public health, and civil rights. At the moment, he's been working for psychiatric field and trying to focus on community programs that are aimed at making mental health care accessible to general public. And this particular novel, 74, is his debut novella. It is a beautiful short novella which is, worth reading. uh, Basically the story is based around, and I could call it based on one character whose name is Razia, and she's a doctor by profession. And in the very first page, we are introduced to her, where she's been seen to be 73 years old, and she's being very, um, I would call it, ironic about how, you know, this sugar free cake topped with candles um, is not the best thing she always wanted in her life. So she's quite sick, but she's a scientist by profession, and um, her brother, Faz Qureshi, is the narrator of the novel who always seeks to uh, speak for her or her behalf. This is a dystopian novel in which the world has collapsed, right? And it is the post pandemic era. The setting of the novel, or for that matter, the years that are set in the novel, are of 2022 and 2023. What has happened is that humanity and survival of humans have become a tough thing to handle, and political, economical, other committees or uh, people or authorities or companies, they have collapsed. So now what they have done is they have called doctors, the frontliners, towards the front in order to save the humanity and humans. So they have formed this committee they call colloquium, which is responsible for arranging and allotting different grants to different people for pathogens they have been working for. Now, Razia has come across a very big breakthrough in her research with her team, and of course, she is going through an ailment and she's not that well. She's old and she has some health problems as well. So, she presents her presentation in front of the committee called Colloquium, who has also introduced second chance laws, which are not so helpful anyway in the long run. Faiz Qureshi, who is the beloved brother of Razia, tries to make a case in front of this jury called Colloquium so that Razia could be looked after and she could continue or pursue her work. But in return, she gets a lot of indirect and direct criticism by these people in the panel. There are multiple doctors mentioned, and they're very strict about what they want from her. They tell her that her team could just simply carry out the experiment and she should just take rest and leave the project with them. But that is not what she wants. So Faiz on her behalf talks to them, and then she tries to present her ideas, and eventually she's asked to start human trials, which is not the proper way of approaching anything new in a lab. So she refuses. She bluntly, clearly, and directly refuses. at that very particular time and says that she cannot, simply sell her soul on her 74th birthday, right? Then the other thing that is very interesting in the novel is of the diseases that are mentioned in the novel. There is lung cancer, there's lung infection, diabetic bodies, uh, and then there are uh, plagues and climatic problems are mentioned. And it is a futuristic novel as it is set in 2022. And apart from this, um, because of this pandemic, there has been, in the text, it is seen that there is a chaotic situation where characters are found in the middle of lawlessness, and many have died because people have attacked each other, and the distribution between the rich and the poor is clearly mentioned on several occasions in the texts. And then one thing that is also interesting is that the misuse or overuse of antibiotics and other medicines are mentioned. So that is also, we can call it part of our reality these days, how we are facing these pandemics such as coronavirus has made our lives miserable. So this novel is very much relevant to the present era. Moreover, it also talks about how at the age of 73 to 74, the old age is so much in trouble that the healthcare laws do not take them into consideration, because perhaps for them uh, disease management at this age is too expensive and too much of a work. So there are no pertinent laws or rules chalked out for these people, and they are at their mercy. Then, Razia is poor. She's been a scientist by profession for a long time, but she's not able to uh, get herself help. But what happens in the end is that as she has worked on this problem for a long time, and they know that this project could work in their favor, so all of a sudden we see that there is a breakout of a virus among people, and all those people in the panel of doctors who rejected Razia, some of them are actually infected. So her husband, Razia's husband, who's called Vadim in the novel, basically Razia had identified that this virus is going to infect multiple people on a very fast pace, and she wanted to come up with an antidote, but they were not supporting her. So what her husband did, that he infected one of the jury members so that they would take her project seriously. So at one point, Vadim says that uh, what do you think, that you're the only man who owes something to Razia? This is what Vadim says to Faiz Qureshi, who is the beloved brother of Razia. Then in answer, Faiz says, I feel numb. They will find out. If I manage to figure it out, the colloquium would too. After all, there is no news of anyone else contracting this new illness. Now, Vadim says that to Guria, I owe her more than I can hope to repay. So basically, the story is not just about finding out the antidote to this new bug and moving forward or excelling in scientific world, but also how different characters try to build up this network of relationship among themselves to show how humans are at the mercy of technology and these breakouts, and how they should always be with each other and love each other. So, that is my take on this novel. I would suggest and recommend everyone to read it so that they can relate it to the present era and understand the atrocities that are related to these things.